Tonight, a deadly day in Lebanon as it comes under Israeli attack.
Coming up in tonight's Sport, Rangers interim chairman John Gilligan urges the club's major shareholder Dave King to stop airing his thoughts in public.
And later we speak to the visually impaired man and his guide dog who've become the first man and dog pair to visit all of Scotland's senior football league grounds.
Welcome to the 9.
Right, time for some sport now. And Amy's here. Good evening.
Good evening, Laura. We're kicking off with some boardroom drama at Ibrox. That'll bring you right up to date with. Thanks very much, Laura. Good evening. Rangers' new interim chairman John Gilligan is calling on the club's major shareholder Dave King to get behind the board. King says the club's current problems are due to a lack of proper leadership and has offered to step back in as chairman. Today, speaking to the media for the first time since John Bennett gave up the chairmanship due to health reasons, Gilligan says enough is enough. Our sports news correspondent Chris McLaughlin has more. Well, Rangers are one of the 4 clubs who have a League Cup semi-final to look forward to. The holders will meet Motherwell at Hampden and Celtic will take on Aberdeen. Brendan Rodgers' men. It's still only September and we've already had a second Premiership boss sacked from his job as Hearts parted ways with head coach Stephen Naismith after a run of 8 consecutive defeats. Liam Fox will take interim charge as Hearts begin the search for what is their 7th manager in 10 years. Well, it is no wins in 11 games for Hearts if you include the end of last season. The Tynecastle side have only taken 1 point from a possible 18 in the league so far this season. They've got Ross County at home on Saturday and then a week on Thursday start their Europa Conference League campaign away to Dynamo Minsk. It looks like the long-running takeover talks at Everton could be nearing a conclusion because the Friedkin Group has reached an agreement to buy Farhad Moshiri's majority 94% stake in the club. Now to some of the fallout from Sunday's big English Premier League matches, because former Arsenal striker Ian Wright says Manchester City's Erling Haaland acted like a coward when the hosts scored their late equaliser to make it 2-2. Scottish heavyweight boxer Nick Campbell says he wasn't surprised by Daniel Dubois' victory over Anthony Joshua, having spent 5 weeks sparring with the champion in the run-up to his IBF title fight at Wembley. Dubois dismantled Joshua in 5 rounds on Saturday, and Campbell, who only turned professional 3 years ago, has been told by Dubois' coach to use it as a springboard for his own career. I spoke to him earlier and asked him how the training had been.
Great experience to be involved in probably one of the biggest British fight nights ever.
All the talk, as we know, was about AJ going into this. Did you know beforehand? Did you get a sense of just how strong Dubois was? Did you think it would be as easy though and he would dismantle AJ like he did?
I would be, and there was a lot of questions on both fighters. You know, Daniel had for
the last 5 weeks. But what have you taken from that experience? And I'm just curious, how does it actually work in terms of how did you get that phone call? How are you in that position where you end up saying, yes, I will be Dubois' sparring partner, but before such a huge fight?
I'll dedicate myself to my craft, and in turn, it obviously helps him prepare for the fight on Saturday night. You've
been a sparring partner, not just for Dubois, but for the likes of Tyson Fury, some other huge boxing names in your time. Who has the hardest punch of anyone that you've experienced? I'm sure you've been asked this before, but who has really just taken you by surprise when you've actually been in the ring with them in terms of just how hard a punch they can land?
I feel set every time he goes in, steps through the ropes, it's seek and destroy.
He'd played rugby and then obviously turning your hand to a completely different sport. You've won 6 of the 7 professional fights you've been involved in. What are the hopes for you for the future then? Because you've had that incredible experience sparring against some of the top names in the sport. What's the hope for you? What does the future look like for you?
Listen, I've always at the top, at the bottom, in the middle, everywhere. So I just need to position myself where I'm ready and get in there and take my opportunity.
Campbell, Dubois one day. Who knows? Nick, and finally, some snooker news for you, because John Higgins has dropped out of the elite top 16 in the world rankings for the first time in 29 years. If it stays that way, he'll miss January's Masters event. Yes, it was great to get the thoughts of Nick Campbell there, Laura. I mean, putting himself in the ring with the likes of Tyson Fury and Dubois has just been... It's going to teach him a few lessons, isn't it?
Indeed. He's clearly good at it, though.
I know.
isn't he? And
The thing I'm most delighted by, the fact I actually look small on TV for once.
all 6'7" of him. Amy, thank you so much. It is to the swimming pool now, because with the number of swimming pools in Scotland drying up,